Hello, and welcome to Adventure's Edge, an actual play tabletop role-playing game podcast. My name is Don, and I'm going to be your game master through our first campaign, Heroes of the Vale. And with me at our table for our first adventure, I have 5 brave heroes that are going to embark upon this quest with us. We are going to be playing a Pathfinder First Edition campaign, modified with some homebrew rules. And we'll be giving you more information about the world and the campaign as we go. And I'll just start right now that there is a website out there where you can find a lot more about us, about the rules, about the world and everything. And that is going to be adventuresedgerpg.com. Let's see who is joining me at the table. So if you could, we'll go around the table, say who you are and what you are playing.
All right. Hi, I'm Rochelle, and I am playing Zinnia Mosswing, and I am a fairy wizard. Oh, and I have a familiar who is a fox named Nipper.
Oh, so cute.
All right, hello, my name is Glow, and I am Bramble, and I am a fawn bard.
Oh, what do you play, fawn bard?
I play the lute.
The ever popular.
I'm Matt, and I'm playing Trunk, a joyful if confused cleric bumbling around at 7'4" in a world of pixies.
You're a troll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll definitely, if you've played Pathfinder, you'll notice we have some different races here. So, yes, so we have a fairy, a fawn, and a troll, and then we have.
My name is Jeff. I'll be playing a human fighter.
So exotic.
Cholme. So exotic.
The classic human fighter.
And I am Thad, and I'll be playing Darun Stonebreaker, a druid. Dwarf, and this is my sidekick and my companion Kudros. She's a black wolf, and I have one request from the bard: no stairway to heaven.
No stairway.
No stairway to heaven.
No stairway.
Okay.
You not seen Wayne's World?
No, I haven't.
And we just saw our first generation gap, people.
Yep, sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
okay.
Dear. All right. Well, this story is going to be taking place in the world of Tellus, which is a homebrew world. And again, you can find information about that at adventuresedgerpg.com. You do not need to engage with us in other ways. You'll learn more about the world as we go, because this is going to be the first campaign that I've run in this world. So it is very, very new. And none of my players have had the opportunity to, obviously play in it. They got a GM's guide that I'm sure they've all read and thoroughly studied, as every player always does.
Absolutely.
Ins and outs.
Ins and outs.
Thoroughly steeped in the lore.
So we'll all be learning about this together, and that'll be fine. But if you want to learn more outside of that, there's going to be avenues for you to do that. Again, we're going to be on the world of Tellus, in the land of Galtia, to the western side, in a place called Westerness, in the Duchy of Landen, in a place called Shepherd's Vale, and a town called Ravenrock. And I know all of you are going to have that ready on the quiz. We're good, right?
Yes.
Yep. But the important part is Ravenrock is going to be the starter town. It is a lovely little town of about 1,800 people, nestled on the Burberry Run, which is a small river, and it is next to a place called the Hollowwood, which is a large fay-filled forest. To the north of the Vale is a chain of rocky hills called the Giant's Teeth, and to the south of the Vale are the Shepherd's Peaks. It is a pretty lush vale, it's mostly temperate, and again, we'll learn more as we go. But we're going to be starting here in the town of Ravenrock, and the action is going to pick up in a large colonial-style house at the top of the hill. And inside this house, on an upper floor, in a small room, there is a sick child named Brina. Her matted hair, blonde curls draping down. She's about 8 years old. And her dearest friend in the world, Zinnia, has been secretly living there in the family home and doing her best to befriend Brina and, of the last couple days, try to take care of her. Because you're convinced that her mother is not doing a good enough job. And nobody else other than Brina knows that you are here. So it's late at night, you're in the room with her, and Brina has a pretty significant cough, and it's just definitely getting worse. And she's laying there in the bed and looking at you, kind of sweat coming down her brow. And I don't feel so well, Zinnia.
Oh, Brina, what can I do? I don't know what to do.
I don't know. And she coughs to the side. Maybe Tommy can help. Or someone.
Oh, okay. And so I start checking my pouches and then I pull out a feather, a small feather, and then I remember that Bramble gave it to me. And so I think for a minute and I remember Bramble said that I could send them a message. So, okay. I concentrate really hard and I tell Bramble, I need you to come to the village. There's a little girl who's my friend. She's very sick. I need you to bring the big healer to the big house with red shutters. It's very tall and near the tavern. And I concentrate really hard and I hope it works.
You concentrate on the feather and you feel it begin to glow ethereal in your hand and kind of swirls about and takes the shape of a kind of almost spectral looking songbird. And it tweets at you, looks at you, and then flies off through the open shutters into the night like a small shining bit of light that flies off into the distance to the hollow wood, hopefully in making its way to your dearest friend, Bramble.
Okay, Brina, I've sent for help. And then I sit down next to her and I stroke her hair and try and keep her calm.
So later that night, in the early morning hours, Bramble, you're nestled in whatever it is you sleep in. I assume you have a nice little fawn bed somewhere out in the forest.
Yes.
Probably in a tiny little cottage. Not even exactly sure. You can describe that later, but I'm sure it is really cute. This magical little songbird flies in through your window if you have one and lands near you and begins to tweet until it has your attention. So I'm sure you kind of wake with a brief start and look at it, and as it kind of solidifies and it begins to recite the words in Zinnia's voice that she just spoke for us, summoning you and asking for help and to bring the healer. And you and very, very few other Fae have never actually been into Ravenrock. It's not too distant, but just safely enough, the human town nearby, which you know that your friend Zinnia has gone to live with. And she said, bring the healer.
Yes, I hear my friends call for help, and I frantically get up and grab my things and start going through our Fae village. I knock on some different doors and I ask for information about where the big healer is, because I know he likes to jump around and go to different houses. So I knock on some doors and I peek in until finally I find him. And I say to him, Trunk, I need your help.
Oh, all right. What is broken?
Well, actually, there's this girl, and she's very sick, and I know that this is scary, but we need to go to the human village.
Outside of the wood?
Yes. But I see Zinnia's with this girl, and it sounds like she's very sick and she needs our help.
I'll think for a moment. Deep down I've had this call for a time. I sigh. All right, I guess it is time. Do I need to bring anything? Because I do not have anything to bring.
No, I don't think we need to bring anything.
There. Okay.
All right. Well, the two of you gather what meager possessions you have. Look around at the small Fey village with the scattering Fey. It's still, very early morning hours, so not too many of them have awakened. Perhaps some of the pixies are up and doing their morning dance and flying through the trees. But, there's really no fanfare. You just gather your stuff and quietly walk out of the village towards this strange human town, which you generally do your best to avoid. And, it's going to take you a couple hours to get there, so you make haste as best you can to go help this sick child. So we will pan around to another Gunderson home, a much smaller one at the bottom of the hill down near the docks, where none other than Thomas lives. And we've established you're probably an early morning riser, maybe, depending on what you did the night before.
Absolutely.
But you, whatever it is you're doing, you hear a gentle knock on the door, which is certainly not expected for this time of morning.
Okay.
It's almost timid in the knocking.
Well, I'll grab Mama, and then I'll go and kind of creak the door open.
All right, you you creak the door open and look out into the street where you see a young boy. He's one of the local runners. Basically, there's half a dozen of them that do, throw them a penny and they'll take a message around town. It's kind of like little errand boys. And he's got his little small cap on. And he's looking quite a bit timid as he kind of looks up at you. You kind of try to remember his name. You think it's Gerald or Jerry or something like that.
Oh, hi, Jerry.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gunderson.
You can call me Tommy.
Okay, Tommy. I've got a message from your mum.
Oh, really?
Well,
let's have it.
Yes, sir. She says your sister Brina is quite ill, and she says you should come forthwith.
Oh, Brina's sick.
Yes, sir.
I'll grab a shirt from inside the house and kind of ruffle through my pockets to get some kind of coinage and flip something to Jerry.
Thank you kindly, sir.
No problem. And I'll take off.
He
Forthwith.
takes it and goes quickly running off. So you grab your stuff and make your way, winding through the town up the hill. You do notice curiously that the town itself seems to be a little quieter than normal. It is still early, but there's just not quite as many people on the streets as you're kind of accustomed to. You
Sure.
kind of look at the sun and wonder exactly what time it is, but shrug it off and make your way to your family home. All right, while you do that, we now go to Derun. Derun, we know you've been living here about a year with a more senior member of the guild that you're part of, the Earth Elders, Umros. And you came here to study under him, and you've been kind of living in his upstairs, we'll call it a guest room. Pretty simple place. And he's also sick. It's been a couple days, and he has a progressively worse cough. And the neighbor dwarf, Gilda, who's a little bit younger, but she's kind of thinks of him as like maybe a friendly uncle and checks on him, is pretty much the only other person that really is in Umros's life. He's kind of a recluse, and she's been bringing him some soup and things like that. But you've heard him coughing through the night, and you kind of get up and check on him this morning, and he just it looks like it's worse, and you see little flecks of blood on his pillow, and you need to do something. You're not obviously not maybe able to heal him yourself just yet, but he kind of looks at you a little weakly.
Umros, your cough is getting worse.
It seems to be. I'm sure I'm gonna be fine.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm going to get you something for it.
Perhaps, yes, something from the healer to ease the pain. And you see he probably notices the blood too, and has a little worried look, but yes, probably Don't fuss too much, but if you can find something.
Enough talking. You get some rest. I'll go get it. I'll let Gilda know we're going. Gudros, let's go, girl.
All right, your black wolf looks at you expectantly and quickly comes to your side.
She's been sleeping by Umros' side all night.
All right, she looks back and kind of whines a bit, as animals seem to be able to pick up on things that the rest of us cannot. So yeah, you step out of the house and go to the neighbor house. You see there's a lantern on, and probably rap on the door, and the young Gilda answers.
Gilda, Umros is getting worse.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh.
I'm going to go get something for him. Hopefully I can find something. Say your prayers to Tobres.
Oh, I shall indeed. I'll make some more soup. I will go check on him.
Thank you. And I'll head down the stairs and out the door.
All right. Well, you know your way enough around the town, and it's not a huge place, and there's only so many business establishments, but you have an idea of where there's a healer shop kind of on the north side of the hill. So you make your way up around the hill and up towards the central dividing road. And as you approach the intersection, you see kind of a curious sight, because back at our dear friends here, Trunk and Bramble, you walk for several hours, and you've made it out of the forest, to your consternation, no doubt. Circumventing and giving the logging camp a very wide berth, and making your way to the town itself. And Ravenrock is it's a small walled town. It has a wooden palisade that circles around it, and there was a couple guards at the gates who spied you curiously as you approached, and once you told them why you were there, they just kind of shrugged in a confused manner why the two of you were coming into the town, but motioned you by, and you've been kind of making your way in, and you can immediately feel that the few people that are out and about, or the people that noticed you through their windows, have been definitely watching you curiously. And Ravenrock is set on a hill where you can see the buildings kind of make their way up around the hill. And you come to the first intersection, being unfamiliar with the place and looking around. Nobody else has come up to offer you any aid, and there's not really many other people on the streets right now. You kind of expected humans to be everywhere. But as you're standing there looking around, trying to figure out which way to go, you see a dwarf and a black wolf making their way up towards the intersection. Derun, you notice this odd couple standing up at the intersection. They seem to have paused, looking around, perhaps confusedly. One of them is a hulking form, something like 7.5 feet tall, just hugely muscular, in a simple patchwork tunic. But next to him is a even more curious sight. There's a small fawn.
A fawn?
I mean, You've definitely heard of the Fae, but I don't imagine you've probably had any direct interactions with them, and certainly just not brazenly walking down the street in Ravenrock.
Kudros she'll stand up straight and sniff the air, and she won't get any kind of heckles, but she's definitely responsive, and I'll just kind of stare at them, perhaps put up a hand in my recognition.
I think I see a human over there. He has a puppy.
I see someone. I don't think it's a human, though. He's awfully short. But there is a puppy.
Everyone is short.
It's all relative.
He looks friendly. He waved a hand at us, I believe. I think I'm gonna go over and ask if he can help us find where we're going. I approach the dwarf with the puppy, and I say, excuse me, we're looking for a house. It's got red shutters, and it's near a tavern.
And I'll scratch my head with small chunks of clay coming out of it, and Kudros will come over and start sniffing you. Oh, yes. I think I know where that is. Well, if we can make it quick, I can show you. It's much easier.
Thank you.
I'll sigh and get up off of the ground where I sat down to pet the puppy.
And I am Daerun. It's important that we know names.
Yes, I am Bramble.
Ramble. And your big friend,
They call me Trunk.
drunk like a tree.
That's why they called me that.
Most curious.
I was born next to.
I found Kudros next to one.
Scratch, scratch, scratch.
Well, we should go with haste. It seems like you're in a bit of a hurry.
Yes.
Well, all right. You begin leading them up to the top of the hill. Yeah, you know where the tavern is at the very least, and you're pretty sure once you're up there, you can spy this house that they
Perhaps I've seen the red shutters before.
So, back to Tommy. You obviously know where the house is.
Yeah.
And you have your own feelings
Look
of
for the red
trepidation,
shutters.
and you hurried up. It is extremely rare that your mother is going to bother sending you any sort of communication.
Yeah. I'd like to take the shortcut through the clock tower, or between the clock tower and the pub,
Okay.
and get to the back of the house, to the back door, where I could maybe get to Brina's room without interacting with my mother.
All right. You slip in through the back door. You can, you figure at this hour, your father's already at the tavern itself, the Howling Hound, getting ready for the day. And yeah, you can hear your mother in the kitchen bustling around. And if you're going to try to be stealthy, give me a stealth check.
Sure.
First roll of the game.
Yeah.
No, this is not something I'm good at. That's an 8.
All right. Well, you sneak into the house, and you begin making your way up the stairs. When you hear your mother, Thomas, is that you?
Sweet hell. All right. Yeah, it's me, Mom.
I need you to run an errand. Your sister's not doing well.
Well, can't I go see her first?
Yes, go see her. I've been giving her some poultices and stuff, but she's getting worse. I need you to run and get her something from the Roots and Remedies place.
That's fine.
She doesn't even come out of the kitchen. Like, she doesn't even come up to like greet you or whatever.
And I don't go down to the kitchen.
you kind of hear a pan like, clink a little too heavily, and yeah. So she's busy in there, and you make your way up the sturdy stairs and up to Brina's room.
Do I hear somebody approaching?
You definitely do. Yeah,
Okay.
he's not as stealthy as he thinks he is.
So then,
As many times as he
Creaky
probably
floors,
snuck out,
man, every time.
he probably snuck out many nights.
I don't
But
think I snuck out very many nights.
then, if I know that somebody is coming up to the room, I of course am going to be trying to hide.
yes, I'm presuming that you have a place up in the eaves or something where you've, I don't know if nested is the right word for you, but you have a little spot. So you flutter up out of sight.
Okay, just making sure. I'm not eager to be spotted at this point.
And Brina's older brother comes into the room.
Oh, Bree. What's wrong?
You see her kind of weakly laying in bed, just kind of all sweating and, Tommy, I'm not doing well. I've got some sick.
Oh. And I'll go over and I'll feel her head and see if it's hot.
Yeah, it is a little bit hot, and yeah, she's definitely perspiring, but you kind of look at her over, and she just looks weak, and you can kind of hear her lungs wheezing just a bit.
Oh, Bree, did you play outside too long in the rain?
Oh, no, I mean, not recently.
Well, Tommy's gonna go get you some medicine.
Can you find something that tastes better than what Ma keeps giving me?
Certainly. She still give that stuff that tastes real bitter?
Yeah, she thinks it she thinks it helps, but it doesn't.
Well, don't worry. Tommy's here now.
Oh, okay. And Zinnia sent for some help too.
Well, I don't think your imaginary friend might be as successful as your successful older brother, but, you know, we'll go for it.
About that time, you hear a loud knocking at the family home main door.
Mom! Ma! Get the door!
Who? Did you already send for help?
No, that's not me.
You just kind of hear an exasperated sigh even from where you're at, and some tromping around to the front door, where the door kind of is thrown open. Yes, what? You just hear mid-sentence cut off. As, this older human woman, kind of with graying hair, she's got an apron on, and you can see that she's obviously been working in the kitchen. I mean, from your perspectives, that's about all you would probably pick up, you know. But she was going to address the three of you standing out there, and she just seems to be stricken. She looks at the three of you.
Oh, I've seen this before. Here, I can help. And I start reaching out for her to heal her.
You're pretty certain you would equate that to a squawk that comes out of her mouth, which is something you hear, Thomas, and you don't think you've ever heard.
I would head downstairs.
I'm gonna grab his arm and gently and say, "We don't do that here. It's okay, but the humans get scared often."
She backs up. Thomas, somebody's at the door.
All right, I'll head downstairs to the front door.
Yeah, she just kind of looks at you, and there's this look in her face that's not something you would readily recognize.
Okay.
Something has thrown her off completely.
And I imagine I then see them.
Yeah. You turn around the corner and step to the door, and you see why.
Sweet Lord.
So
You a big one.
Yes, as Tommy runs down the stairs, I will emerge from my hiding place and I will tell Rena that I'm gonna go see if my friends are here. Hold on, and then I will try and stealthily go downstairs, because if it's not them, I still don't want to be seen.
All right, give me a stealth check.
16.
All right, and you're gonna kind of come up behind Thomas and just kind of hovering there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're distracted by them, but
obviously I'm distracted.
I mean, we've talked about this. I recognize him. Through our business.
Yeah, you do.
I recognize him.
He
now.
probably didn't really notice you immediately.
Sure.
And we did establish there's a little
Bigger fish to fry.
as your eyes kind of move from this hulking, troll of a creature, and then you're like, oh, and then there's this like fawn on your doorstep, and then things sort of crystallize, and you see, oh wait, there's that dwarf. You wouldn't call him a friend, but he's been doing some shipping business down on the dock. So you've spoken a few times. You recognize him.
Oh, well, hey, Dayrune.
Oh, I didn't know you lived here.
Well, I don't live. It's a story. But what are you doing here with your big friend? Massively big friend.
I just met them.
Oh.
They just wanted directions here.
At this point,
yeah. So the other,
directions.
actually, all four of you can make perception rolls to see who's actually even spots the fluttering Zinnia.
There's a 24.
That is a 17.
Oh.
19 for Truck.
10 for Bramble.
So yeah, she's apparently behind Tommy's head, but Tommy, you hear some fluttering like back behind your head. And you kind of glance back, and there's definitely something right here.
Jeez. What is going on here?
Yeah, and Trunk, you're like, I mean, I don't know if you know Zinnia so much, but she's a fairy.
I mean, to Trunk at this point, seeing a fairy is more normal than seeing a human, so...
Yeah.
So you can't take your eyes off Tommy.
It's like, what is that?
And then Dayrune, I mean, your morning has just completely gone a little sideways, seeing all these fairies. Yeah, you kind of focus, and there's a fluttering fairy in the house, and okay.
I'm going to close my eyes and open back up. And just go, and then point behind your head.
When he does that, you're like, Bramble, you kind of look, you bend sideways and look around at Tommy, and then,
Zinnia.
So as soon as I see Bramble, I will be like, Bramble! And I will fly directly to Bramble, land on his head and grab his horns and sit on top of his head and say, she's upstairs. Come on, follow me. Oh, well, no.
Nobody's getting upstairs.
No,
What?
no. And then, so,
Take it easy.
guide you upstairs. Start guiding you upstairs.
But what's going on? Mom!
Steer your head like
Mom!
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
did they go away yet? Are those your friends from the docks?
No, they did not go away.
So,
This way, Trunk.
So I imagine I would follow Trunk
We
through
have to
the
help
house
Brina.
like a little yappy dog that can't really do anything about the situation.
It's like in the shows where the random party shows up and everybody starts forcing their way in, and you're helpless at the front door.
Yeah, very much, very much that feeling. It's not used to it either.
Daerun is going to put up his hands. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, Rooney.
Yeah. I'm just going to stay out here in the front step. It looks like there's too many in there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just holler if you need help.
Well,
I'm going to sit on the front stoop, if that's okay with Kudros, and just kind of say my morning prayers to Tobris on the behalf of Umros. Some quiet.
All right. Well, Zinni, you guide Bramble up the stairs because you're well familiar with this house at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the other human woman peeks out of the kitchen, emits another thing resembling a squawk, and closes the door. Sure that Tommy will figure this out. And Trunk, you just follow them up these sturdy stairs leading up into the loft.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the Dutch colonial construction.
Well, they're the Dutch.
it's made by a man named Dutch.
Oh,
man.
It's okay, Trunk. Just come on.
All right. It is sturdy enough, although it creaks slightly as you make it into the loft, where there's a simple room decorated in various nature themes and some bright colors, and there's flower chains, many of which probably made most recently by Zinnia. And they're on a small bed as a sickly little child. So, Bramble, you probably you're directed to go right up to the bed. And the child's like, you came, friends. Zinnia, your friends came.
Of course they came. They're here to help. And by the way, she's speaking Pythian, so we all understand her. Isn't that nice?
That is very nice. I look at this girl and I say, we're here to help. This is my friend Trunk, and he's gonna try and heal you.
So Drunk, you just go walking up to the bed.
I mean, growing up in the Hollowwood amidst pixies and such, I don't imagine I spend a lot of time in buildings, and especially not ones with second floors. So I'm very aware that I don't belong in this place. It's so much smaller than I am.
You
I
definitely fill the space.
Yeah, I kind of hulk in as much as I can. And then I'll kind of get down on my knees, kind of scoot up closer to her. I understand that you're ill?
Yeah, she's kind of looking at you a little wide-eyed. And says, you're much bigger than I imagined. And then Thomas, you're probably coming up like trying to get in. See, like these people, like what is going on?
So I imagine at this point, I would have identified them as Fae, right?
Yes.
So I wouldn't be scared for Bree or myself. So, but I would want to probably sit on the bed next to her or get fairly close.
Yeah, all the stories that she's been telling you now for months and months about her secret friend and just the little language she's been teaching you.
Yeah.
Like everything you completely thought was imaginary is like crashing down now as reality is right here.
So I would get close, and in our secret made-up language that is actually a language, I would say, don't worry, Bree. It seems like he's here to help.
Which at that point would probably surprise both Trunk and Bramble that this human guy is speaking, well, Pythian, which is your native Fey tongue, which is definitely not something you would have expected.
I just grin really big.
I turn over to Zinnia. Did you teach him that?
Not me.
And I just look over, very impressed.
Yeah, all of the secondhand coaching lessons you've been giving Tommy via Bree.
It's probably about the only language I ever hear, so
Yeah.
the idea that somebody else is speaking the language that I know probably doesn't strike me as odd,
Oh, that is a good point.
only because I don't really know about the outside world at all.
Okay.
But I will kind of lean forward. I'm used to kind of dealing with smaller people, so a human girl isn't necessarily that surprising given our size difference, but I've recently learned that you just don't reach out and heal people here, so I'll
That
say...
lesson is still fresh.
Oh yeah, no, I got yelled at. I never get yelled at. So I will gently reach out. I will attempt to make you feel better if that is okay.
She just nods.
So as I reach out, you guys would notice that along my arms, my kind of like gray lavender skin, I've got like vine-like scars, and they start to take on a slight kind of blue purplish sort of glow, and I will attempt to use my restorative touch to cleanse a sickened condition.
Okay. What does that mechanically do?
It is my domain ability. And I can touch to end a daze, stagger, fatigue, sickened, or stagger condition.
Okay. You send your healing energies into the child, and you can see immediately that, I mean, it has some effect because, mechanically speaking, she's definitely fatigued and exhausted. So you give her some temporary relief from the lack of sleep. But as you see the energies kind of course through her, you probably realize quickly that, still listening to her raspy cough, that
There's something
there's
more here.
something more there, and might require you to perhaps evaluate her. Do you have the heal skill?
I can mimic one. Trunk's more an instinctive kind of person than I know how to do things. That is going to be a 12 on heal.
All right, you get in close, kind of listen to her, and I mean you can recognize that there is something in her lungs. She's got some sort of infection, or you don't know what it is exactly. So you're not able to identify what ails her specifically, but there is a scent there that is curious. Like this, like her breath has an odd odor that you kind of pick up on, and you notice that like her bottom lip has a little like a black hue to it. But other than that, yeah, this is gonna maybe require somebody a little more skilled in curing this type of, at least identifying this type of disease.
I'll just kind of give her a pat on the head to, try to calm her a little bit more, and then I will look up to Zinnia and Bramble. I might need some other kind of supplies to help, or she has... I'll try and lower my voice, but I'm giant and almost 400 pounds, so there's not much whispering out of Trunk. I think she is sick with something bigger than I can just make go away quickly.
Oh no, oh no. What do we do, Bramble?
I don't know, Zinnia. You know this place better than I do. Do you know if there's anyone here who could help?
And Tommy, you obviously have already been directed to go to the Roots and Remedies place, so you would...
We could try the Roots and Remedies. I was actually on my way out to go there. So they apparently... that's where my mom was sending me. They might have something.
I will fly quickly over to Tommy, and I will grab him by whatever shirt he put on. And I will say, your mother doesn't know anything!
Well, believe me, I agree wholeheartedly. I'm just not sure of any other place in town. Would I know? Is there any other options? Is there a kind of a local healer beyond the Roots Remedies?
Well, the options that you know of, there is a chirurgeon who's... He's actually more of a non-magical... healer's a loose word. Surgeon, perhaps?
Mm-hmm.
He would not. You would not go there. He's actually lives pretty close by and has a reputation, but
He's a doctor.
yeah, he's a doctor.
Got it.
You know, I mean, there's a temple, but there's only a couple clerics there, and I mean they can definitely cure some basic things, but you don't
Sure.
think either of them are like super powerful. And you just saw this trunk here do magic, so maybe that wouldn't help. So the Roots and Remedies place would be probably your first go-to. The proprietor is named Laurel, and she makes poultices and potions and things.
Well, I think the Roots and Remedies is our best shot. I'm still just floored that you're real. I kind of figured you were imaginary. No offense.
Brina's a very smart and trustworthy girl. I don't know why you think she would be lying to you.
I didn't really think she was lying. I'm a bit surprised.
Well, we should hurry up and go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, you hear her cough a bit more.
I grab you by is it a collared shirt?
Probably not.
Well, okay. Well, I grab you by something on your shirt.
It's super tight.
No. It's probably a button-up shirt. That's
okay.
Mostly buttoned, right?
I thought a ripped man like you would always be something
Well,
too
it's
small.
a sleeveless
Oh,
button shirt, obviously. So I'll, as I'm getting kind of pulled out the door, I'll say, "Bree, we'll be right back."
Okay, Tommy.
And then I'll head out.
All right. As the lot of you are making your way out, your mom's like, "Are you leaving with your friends now?"
Yes. We'll be at the Roots and Remedy.
Okay. Hurry back. Maybe without your friends.
Mom.
Before actually leaving, I'm used to kind of my abilities just fixing things with the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
So curiosity strikes, and I'm going to mutter a detect magic and see if there's something otherworldly about her illness.
Okay. You focus on her and just do a detect magic, and you do not detect any magic.
Then I'll just blame it on her being human.
Okay. Well, you all exit out into the street, well, at least to the landing, where Derun is still there with Corda.
I've actually might have been already headed towards there. Because what purpose do I have here anymore?
I mean, that could be true.
At a slower pace, of course.
Well, that actually makes a lot of sense. I think you've had a few minutes. So, you've made your way down the hill to the Roots and Remedies place. Again, the town doesn't seem to have that normal bustling feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get to the small healer shop, you see there's a line out into the street from the shop, which you've never seen. There's probably a dozen or more people, various ages, several with small sick children. And so it is a gaggle of people who are all looking quite a bit distressed. So there's a lot of coughing going on, and people,
Sure.
just you know,
Do they look much like my friend Umros as far as conditions,
I mean, he seems to be worse off, but
Sure.
he's a much older.
symptoms, if you would?
Yeah, they all have this very similar raspy cough.
Interesting.
So you find yourself at the back of the line.
Take a ticket. So, is the air off? Is there something in the atmosphere? I mean, does it look like just a normal day weather-wise?
I mean, it is a normal day for this time of year. There's a typical slight chill in the air. At this point, the sun has come up. It's in the northern sky. The weather's a little unpredictable this time of year, but I can make a survival check.
And people of the middle ages, those seem to be fine. It's the young ones, or a lot of them young.
That's a cute observation. You've definitely noticed that it seems to be younger and older that seem to be having the most symptoms here.
13 was my survival.
All right, you glance at the sky and focus on everything around, and you don't pick up anything, nothing abnormal about the weather or the day.
Okay, but it seems like I've made an observation that's older and the younger.
You have.
Okay.
So while you're waiting in line, you can see a mother and her child come out of the Roots and Rowdy's place, and they have a small, like a cloth bag, and you kind of hear them saying, "We're gonna go home and make this ointment," and they kind of make their way off, and then somebody else goes inside. So you're waiting in line when you hear behind you, kind of coming down the street, that whole group,
They definitely can hear them.
which draws attention from the people online, looking back as a troll, a fawn, and a guy with a fairy on his shoulder.
Oh,
Probably.
well, no, that's fine. Yeah. That's
I mean, if you've hopped over.
does not matter. Yes, that's fine.
I'll say to the commotion, don't worry, they seem okay. I've met them before.
So the rest of you reach the end of the line, and as everybody at the back of the line are just kind of gawking, and you kind of all walk up, and Daerun is at the back of the line at the moment.
Hey, Daerun.
Oh, I would assume that you were back at home.
Well, the healing didn't work,
Healing.
so you've got someone sick too.
Yeah, Umros is, you might have met him a couple times. Old man, ratchety, very
Yeah.
unlikable.
It's definitely distinct from you.
You've probably met a lot of those kind of people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Customer service, am I right? Yeah, he is sick with many of the conditions. But let me tell you something, Tommy. I've been observing here, and they look like it's the young and the old who are taken ill in this line. Coincidence, do you think?
Maybe.
What did your troll friend, what did you find out, Trunk? Is the girl okay?
It is not magical, but looking around seems a little bit odd. Is everyone in this town usually this ill?
No. My friend, I have tried casting many spells of healing and even feeding of berries of goodness, and I could not get him to revive. This is definitely something much more serious now that I look at.
All right. Well, are you going to wait in line?
How long is the line?
There's about a dozen people in front of you. This could take an hour.
Do I know, is there like a localized area where a lot of these people live? I imagine I would know where a lot of people live.
Well, you do. I would say give me a knowledge local check.
Oh, that's the thing.
It is a thing.
And it's a 5.
Okay. You think about it, and you feel like maybe that's a good idea, but you don't recognize probably a third of the people here, like on a first name basis, so you're not really sure where they all live. And you're looking at the other people here and that you're standing next to.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you can isolate that, perhaps if you ask somebody else or got more information elsewhere.
I would like to calmly stop the next person who came out and ask them, what has been given to you?
Yeah, it's actually like an older human guy. He's like, There's a mixture. It's just a mixture of reagents. I don't know exactly. She explained it as best, but I'm going to go home and make tea with this.
Could I just take a quick look at it? I promise you will get it back.
He looks askance and everybody just kind of you've disrupted the line at this point, so there's a lot of like hubbub and people.
I mean, I'll step out.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
line if it's
he'll
big.
open it up and show you, and
Could I see any kind of the plants or perhaps herbs that are being used here?
sure, give me either a heal check or a knowledge nature to see if you recognize them.
Both of them are really good.
While this is going on, Zinnia is going to do something, but I'll wait till this is
It's a
resolved. to tell you.
24 for heal.
Okay, yeah, I mean you recognize everything that she's given. It's to create an herbal tea. Mostly you think is a soothing agent. It might be good for typical seasonal type cold and cough, but you feel very confident that this is not going to fix it. But it'll probably make him feel temporarily better.
Gathering that information, I feel as if I've gotten a pulse on the large one, that he knows of things in nature. So, and all of you who, I'm going to explain to you what's in here and say, I do not think this will heal anyone. There you go, old man.
So him hearing that, he's like, are you a healer? What? Laurel said this would make me feel better.
It will make you feel better.
And you see people are getting agitated. What did you want to do, Rochelle?
It will make you feel better.
Well, that's disappointing news. So, while everybody is distracted by the disruption, Zinnia was going to look if there was a way for her to fly into the shop, relatively unnoticed.
Sure. I mean, there's an open window.
Okay. So, Zinnia flies into the shop and is going to try and steal a bag of the poultice.
Love it.
Because, yeah, I'm not waiting in line.
Good thing the dungeon is well kept up here.
Okay. That I like it. Well, first give me a stealth check.
Okay. 15.
All right. I mean, there's a lot of distractions going on, especially since there's now at least a small commotion out in the street. So you fly through the open window into the shop, and it's a small, crowded shop. There's actually a simple counter there, behind which there's numerous shelves filled up with jars and vials and things of various ingredients. There's many dried herbs and things hanging about, and the place kind of has it's a little pungent, but it's a mixture of aromas and scents in the room. Something is brewing in the back, and there's already a kind of harried looking young woman, kind of like darker skin with long hair pulled back, and spectacles, and she's in the process of asking this next person that has stepped up what their symptoms are, and saying basically, I will try to mix something up here. And she hears her and she has a pile of ingredients on the counter, but she seems to be mixing things together like case by case. So there's not like a bag of it all. Like she doesn't have all these.
There's nothing ready-made.
Yeah, she seems to be kind of trying to address each of these individually, but they don't notice you at the moment. But you can choose to take a perch there or stealth back out.
If there's nothing ready-made, then that doesn't really do me any good, does it?
I mean, you could just steal something random if that was if you wanted to.
No, I wanted there to be like a little pouch that I could just grab and go.
I appreciate that. I like it. Unfortunately, yeah, she's trying to do her best.
Now I just feel bad for her. So no, then I just leave.
All right, you flitter back out. At this point, you guys can continue talking. You want to just kind of wait in the queue until your turns come up, or are you going to try to push your way through?
I imagine I have a little money. I guess we didn't really talk too much about that.
You do have some money, yeah.
Okay, so I'll say pretty loudly, I'll just kind of pull up my coin purse, and I'll say, anybody can have all of this. Just let me take your place in line. Specifically the people in the front line. Not you, Dayrune. Sorry.
I step out of the line. Put my hand out. No, I step out of line.
Any takers?
Give me a diplomacy check. I know, it's a dice game.
14.
Okay. All right. I mean, you're kind of working against a degree of some desperation here, but there's also an element, there's a little bit of uncertainty now that this dwarf has declared that this is not going to do any good. So amidst that, the disagreement going on, someone at the front says, I'll take your money.
Sweet. I'll go up there and give him the coin purse and put myself in line.
All right. He's going to just kind of step out of the way, and it looks like he's just going to kind of watch what's going on because he's been really paying attention to what Dayrune was saying and talking about the healing. So
Then I'll fly over to Tommy and say, now how are you going to pay for it?
Well, we'll get to that part. Like, I really fought that part through.
I think for Trunk at this point, I'd be walking up the line, just kind of looking at what kind of symptoms I'm seeing, and I will just start asking, what kind of sick do you have? And I'm just trying to like see if they've all got the same thing or something different.
okay, no, that's fair. They are. I mean, you've obviously been studying here now a few minutes, and they've, determined at least reasonably so that you're not out to do them harm, but they're still nervous around you. Go ahead and just give me a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy. That is going to be a whopping 12.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you're obviously presenting a good demeanor, and you're trying to be helpful, and you're just asking them some questions. So between that and your powers of observation, they pretty much all seem to have the same thing, which is a cough that has been worsening between the last 1 and 3 days, and
Black around the lip.
nobody actually says that, but you definitely have observed. There was another older lady there who seems to be really in a bad way. You see it on her, so the people seem to be that have just more recently got it. You don't notice it.
Okay. To a couple of the people who seem to have it the worst, if they're wanting, I'll reach out and use another charge of my restorative just to kind of ease some of those symptoms. But then I'll walk back to the rest of the group.
Well, if you do that, and they're like, you give them this brief, surge of like this feeling of relief, and they're like, oh, that feels good. And then everybody else is like, do me. And then you're like, you feel like these people are just looking for some sort of aid. And now the line is completely disrupted as people are like reaching out, like, me next, sir. Oh, heal my child. Which
none of this will actually cure any of you. I'll work on it though.
But while that is going on, then Tommy, you can basically slip inside, and
Yes.
anybody else who wants to go other than Trunk with you can kind of like step around and go inside as Trunk is.
I'm not chuckling, but this is not entertaining. I mean,
Wow.
from an aspect of I'm not enjoying, but I'm finding amusement in the fact that he looks a little flustered from the healing because I think I know everything about healing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Our first like deep insights into the psyche
Yeah.
of Dayrune. Okay. Interesting.
So I'm riding on Tommy's shoulder, and I make sure that
Bramble?
Bramble is coming with.
Yeah, Bramble's been just sitting a little quietly off to the side, probably very much out of your element. I mean, I imagine
Very
that.
much so, yes.
Yeah, surrounded by all these human people, and doing your best to not be observed. But so a lot of you kind of make your way in, and then Trunk, once you start saying, "I can't really help you," but do you dispense any more of your healing touches?
To anybody that looks to be like you've described, that there are people who are on kind of like the first day low symptoms and then people who are like heavily fatigued and whatnot of it. So I can spare a few of them to the people who are the greatest in need. But from there, I'll just say it would probably be best for the moment to go with whatever kind of teas they are making to ease you. And I will see what the source of this illness truly is.
Okay. Well, it's the mixed message you give. I mean, a sense of ease, but also like more people are trying to solve their problem.
As I realize that I'm now kind of the plague master, I'll slip to intimidation a bit, and I go, "Get your tea and go rest now. Goodbye."
Well, they still have to wait in line for their teas. So do you? So Thomas, you've gone in and you see that the young woman at the counter, which I mean you've definitely seen her around the town. I don't know that you would necessarily know her, but I mean
I know her name, I'm sure.
Yeah. Given your personality, perhaps you might think she's easy on the eyes or something, but
Well, no, definitely know her name.
So you straight up the counter with your bizarre entourage, and you see that she was just pausing to catch her breath and turns and was kind of mid-sentence again. Yes, what are your symptoms? Oh, my.
A cough and a black lower lip.
Are you a fairy?
Yes, I am.
Oh, my. I don't think I've not seen one of you up close. And she just kind of bends down and, well, you're on Tommy's shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of leans forward into Tommy's space to look at you up close. Are you sick?
No, I'm not sick, but my friend is. We really need this poultice just to help ease her pain.
So she kind of looks between you. Who's sick?
It's Bree.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Tommy.
Yeah, she's got a really bad cough. And, like, her lower lip is black.
So she pauses at that. Black?
Yeah.
Oh, what? I haven't noticed that yet.
Well, a couple of the others had it.
Oh, well, everybody's just focused on their cough, and I've been doing my best. And then she kind of looks out the window and sees, is that...
Is that a monster?
It's been a morning, Laurel. It's been absolutely dreadful. But I really do need this for Bree. And you can charge it to my mom, certainly at the bar.
Okay, I
And
can...
charge a double. I don't care.
What?
I whisper, good plan.
So, you know, her guard is kind of dropping a little bit, and she says, well, I can make some teas, but I don't know what this ailment is yet. I need some more time to figure it out. I've got to figure out what's causing it.
Is there anything you need, like more powerful plants?
Well, most likely, but we need to figure out what it is. I've just not had time. There's been so many people coming to the door, and the fact that everyone has caught it so quickly together, there must be a reason.
Well,
I don't want to...
is there anything I can do?
Maybe, if we can figure out why they're all sick, like how. So, Daerun out there, do you feel like you've gotten close enough to overhear this?
Yeah.
If you want to step in, since you did have a thought a minute ago.
So, yes, they're young and old. You see the middle-aged people. They are not affected.
Well, yes, I have noticed that it's been mostly the children and the older people so far, but still trying to determine, like, why these people...
I am not too familiar with this town, Tommy.
I do. And again, they all live in a similar area of the town.
Well, that's what
Yes.
you were thinking, Daerun, but you didn't like voice your thought to the others. So
I wanted some... I guess I don't know if I know well enough in the same area. Perhaps they are in the same area of the town, but what area is this? That's my question. Like,
well, when you suggest that as a possibility, Laura will perk up and say, "Oh, wait, that is a thought." And she starts kind of, you see her pause and just kind of start doing some mental calculation about who she's already talked to this morning. And she says, oh, that's a good idea. Everybody does seem to be living or from the southwest side of the town. Oh, that is a wonderful point. There must be some source. If we could find that, I could probably find a cure then. So if you could find the source...
I'm sure we probably would do our best.
Absolutely, take a look.
I don't like making promises.
I feel like we're playing Pathfinder, the CDC version. Thank you.
Let's break out the pandemic board.
So that would be in my neighborhood. Yes. Near Umros, southwest. Is that the way I'm looking at the map? North.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So everybody they're looking at the map of the town now, scrutinizing the possibilities and seeing who lives where. I know it is riveting. So yeah, you start thinking about the people and who are sick. And yeah, looking at the southwest perhaps. So Laurel suggests, if you can find anything that might be the cause, I have a lot of material here. I could certainly try to brew something or figure out if we need more reagents. But in the meantime, let me keep making some teas, at least to ease these people and, get them back home.
Can we get one for the road for Bree?
2, please. Or maybe 4? Make it 4. Make it 4. 3 for Bree and 1 for Umro?
Umro.
Umro.
Yes, thank you for remembering.
Sorry, he only gets 1.
That's fine. I've already dealt with my emotions about that.
It seemed like it.
All right, well, she will hurriedly make a couple of the tea mixtures and give them to you.
Wait. 4?
She seems a bit hesitant, and she said, well, I
Charge
don't...
them to the Howling Hound.
I'm authorizing it.
All right.
This is where you come in, Bramble.
Yes. Yeah, you can give us 4 of them. I can assure you that they will be paid for.
And it's a worthy endeavor.
Yes, it's a worthy endeavor. We're doing our best to save a very sick child that really needs your assistance.
There's our bard. The reluctant bard.
How is your inventory? Do you have enough supplies?
I can get through the day. We'll have the bard make a diplomacy check so that you cast a die here.
Yes.
Yeah. They're working into their role.
14.
All right. So yeah, you. It sounds like you're also being aided by the group. So you put your charm on, and yeah, she'll give you 4 poultices or the tea mixtures. Hopefully with the promise that you're going to go find something for her to work on. Giving a lot of you the opportunity to make your way back into the street where Trunk has probably extricated himself from the crowd.
No, probably not actually. While I still have my gaggle of plague victims, I've already kind of figured that they have to have gotten ill. If they've got the same disease, it has to have come from something. So I'm trying to find out what they all do that might be similar. Is there a place that you all play together? The old and young people. Is there a food you all like to eat that is new?
Okay, so you're looking basically to kind of gather some information, ask them, figure out what would be common amongst them. Well, it is a mixture of, the southwest part of the town is, broadly the sort of, we'll say, middle class. So it's not like it's a lot of poor people per se. You think that they don't really all seem to have the same place that they've eaten or played, especially obviously not the old people.
Well, that is sad. The old people could play with everyone too.
tell you what, see if you can. You don't really know the town, but you know if people are eating and drinking, then they're probably getting it maybe from there. And you've ruled out places to go to eat. We'll say that.
Okay. Well, Matt is looking at a map, but Trunk doesn't know about that well that's right there. So.
Well, the other members of this group have come out now with some poultice mixtures and a mission from Laurel, of which they're now going to relay to Trunk.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of wave at Tommy as soon as I see him. Mr. Person.
Yeah, it's Tommy.
Tommy. Okay. Where do you get water?
From the well.
Yeah, and so Tommy, you would know that there are several wells in the town, and there's definitely one on the southwest side, which is probably where they get it for the inn and for your family's house. But then, like the one you use is on the north side.
Yeah. Do you think that could be the problem?
Everybody apparently eats everywhere. They do not gather. They do not like to spend time with each other. This town has many problems that I think you should fix. But for the most part, it looks like wherever they are drinking might be similar. So let us go check that place out.
I can show you where it is.
All right. Goodbye, sick people.
Spin-off idea, Mayor Trunk.
Okay. Then you make your way over, from the Roots and Remedies. So there's actually two possible wells, right? There's the one kind of middle west, and then one far southwest.
Mm-hmm.
So do you you think it actually, you were thinking it's probably most certainly the southwest one, but if you want to check both.
Well, we'd be going fairly close to the one that's kind of straight west, right?
Yeah.
So we'll probably stop at that one first, I would think.
No, first we go back to your house.
After we go and get the medicine to Bree.
All right. So you're going to run back to the house and give your mom the tea to make.
Yeah.
All right.
So
be very specific with the instructions to your mother.
Absolutely. Will do.
All right. So you have a pleasant exchange with your mother. Tell her how to make the tea.
It's probably not pleasant. It's very specific.
And so I don't know if you bother telling her what else you're up to, but she said I've got this. I'll go make the tea.
Mom, follow the directions exactly. All right?
I can make tea, Thomas.
Never made me any tea.
While he's doing that, I will fly up and check on Bree and just tell her that, what we're doing and that I will be back to check on her later and just make sure she keeps resting. And then I will also go wake up Nipper, who's been napping during the day because Nipper does not come inside the house.
Okay, so Nipper is probably over in the little greenery nearby.
There's a little green, yes.
Okay, little foxhole.
So I would like to write a small note and put it in with the tea that I was given and put it in Kodrashia's saddlebags and put it in there and tell her, go give this to Gilda and come back.
Okay.
So I guess we've decided as a group to help these people.
Well, yeah, I'm going to help Bree.
That could be a question or a statement.
I mean, I'm going to help Bree.
Yes.
And, we should probably, if we figure that out, I think we'll get it all sorted.
Well, let's hope.
Okay, I'm glad we've established this.
Very defiant.
Well, I just wanted to make it clear we're doing this together as a group, or some people would call it a party.
You have a compatible mission at this point.
Okay. I just met you like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, nobody's making any lifelong commitments here. You're just trying to find some medicine.
Good.
All right. Then you quickly make your way over to the nearest well. yeah, there's nobody there at the moment as a lot of you kind of step up to the well. It's a pretty simple stone well with a rope and a bucket. And I mean, these have kind of been built around a ring, around the hill, which supplies the water for the area. All right. Well, what do you want to do then? So, Rochelle, Zinnia's kind of still sitting on Tommy's shoulders. We've got Bramble there, and there's a well.
I probably go back and forth between Bramble and...
You're flitting around.
Yeah.
And Trunk, you look at the well, and you're not getting in there.
I'm assuming there's a bucket system.
Yeah. There's a bucket.
Yeah.
So I'll haul up a pail of water.
Okay.
And look to all of the Fae for advice.
I mean, I can detect magic, but I don't know how to tell if the water is bad or not.
I mean, is there a way to tell if it's
Is Nipper with
tainted?
us?
Yeah, Nipper's with us now.
Can Nipper smell the water and see if it looks tasty or, oh no, something's horrible?
I mean, sure, Nipper.
I want to see do two different reactions that Nipper does. Like, what's horrible?
Okay, so you hold the little bucket up to the fox, and he kind of sniffs at it and kind of draws back and kind of shakes his little furry head.
Oh, Nipper doesn't want to drink this water?
No.
Oh, so Nipper goes...
Angry water. I will cast light on a pebble and just drop it down and then take a look to see if there's something that may be in the well that shouldn't be.
All right, you drop the pebble down and you hear the blunk as it hits the water down, but it's about 40 feet down. And while the pebble makes its way into the water, and it's not it's only probably 3 or 4 feet deep. I mean, it's a nice little well, but you've got some dim illumination down there, but you really can't see very well in the well.
I'll go down, but put the bucket down first, because if my wings get wet, it's very, very bad.
Oh, you going down. That makes a lot more sense than me trying to jump in.
I'll lower the bucket. Be careful.
Are you going to go down in the bucket, or are you going to fly?
I'm going to fly down, but I want to be able to grab the rope in case my wings get wet.
All right. So you are going to, just do a little spiral glide down. All right, well, it's you're obviously tiny, but it is also pretty narrow confined. So I will need a fly check from you to safely descend down.
30.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Zinnia's most graceful flyer in all of Hollowwood.
All right, you descend down, initially through the gloom there down towards where the pebble is dimly illuminating the water below, and probably get a couple feet above the water to look around. And with your low light vision, you can see, reasonably well. Give me a perception check.
Do you need another pebble?
Pebble.
2.
Do you need a better set of eyes?
Yes. I see nothing. I see things, but there's a lot to look at down here, and the water and the lights, and look, there's moss on the wall. Is it the same color as my wings and my hair? I can't tell. It's kind of cool looking. And then, there's lots of pebbles down there, and then there's a glowing pebble, and pretty lights.
Beginning to see the problem with having her be our scout.
I'm not sure she knows what she's looking for.
Hey, Nipper, do you want to go for a swim?
Do you have some knowledge nature skills?
I do.
Give me a nature check.
Okay. 12. No! 12. That's right.
All right. Well, being a bit flighty, you're looking around, but you did give me a little like litany of things that you're describing, and I mean, coincidentally, there is moss on the wall, which you just went right over the first time. But as your knowledge nature kicks in, it occurs to you, wait, that probably shouldn't be there. I mean, that doesn't seem good. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to examine the strange moss that's sort of blending in, because it actually is a really black moss.
Oh.
And you see that it's grown probably about a third of the way around one of the sides of the wells and into the water.
Yeah, that's actually very bad. There shouldn't be black moss. Is it actually moss or is that a fungus?
Can you bring a scraping of that up here?
It will be a tiny, tiny scraping, but sure.
Just be careful that you don't get afflicted with that horrible plague.
Put it in the bucket.
All right, so I pull out my hairpin and I scrape some of the black moss, fungus, mold, whatever it is, and I put it on the edge of the bucket.
All right, you do. You get a decent little sample as best as you can, maintaining your flight. Wipe that off in the bucket, and then you can alert them that you've accomplished your task.
No, I will fly back up.
Okay. So Zinni comes flying back up.
Did you find something?
Yes, pull up the bucket.
All right.
Bucket.
And I'll take care to pull it up.
All right. You very quickly carefully but quickly get the bucket back up into the light. Yeah, where you can see Zinni has smeared some black, mossy, almost sludgy stuff on the edge of the bucket.
It's astounding. They're so gross.
Yes, it is gross.
Does anybody know what it is?
But you weren't able to cure it, though. But it wasn't magical, right?
I could take a look at it.
You could examine it with it would be a nature check.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody else who has nature can also make a check.
That is not a skill I'll have.
That is a 20 from Bramble.
Very. I got 11.
You probably sleep on it.
No, Bramble knows better than to sleep
That's
on
right.
it.
It's like a known thing. Don't sleep on the black moss.
Yeah.
That's the motto of our town.
This is. You're pretty sure that this is called black scour, which, it is it's basically a moss that it creates a bacterial infection, and you don't want to ingest it because it can be quite fatal. Whether or not you communicate the fatality or lethality of it, but definitely those with weaker immune systems are more likely to suffer dire consequences if they ingest it or ingest contaminants. However, you don't know how to cure it. But you've heard of this. It's also something that you would probably not expect to see here in a well. It does occur in nature, but there is a fey aspect to it.
Right.
So
what you relay now, you can tell people what you wish.
It's called black scour, yes.
Black scour.
So this appears to be something called black scour, which if ingested can cause an illness. It's not something you usually see around here, though. It's more of a fey thing, really. It's something more like we would see in the woods. I'm not sure how to cure the illness that comes from it, but I do recognize it.
But it can be cured, right?
Well, this is the kind of thing we were looking for your friend to create some kind of...
yes, she perhaps would
thing.
know of these herbs.
Yeah.
Well,
How much of it is down there?
A lot. It's very bad. Maybe we should go check the other well and just see if it's there too, and then close off this well until we
Yes.
can figure it out.
That is a good idea.
Do you know how to kill black scour? Like, not cure it, but like kill it.
Hmm.
Fire?
Fighter is generally a good killer of things.
I mean, is that something that I would know?
I mean, it would be difficult, right?
It's in the water.
The water's contaminated. So you think this might require getting more people involved? I mean, at this point, they might have to drain the well, but at the very least, you think Zinnia is right. Closing it off is the right choice.
I think I might know the right people at City Hall.
Yeah.
Is there anybody around beyond us? Any passersby? Any of them kids that get messages? Anything like that?
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, there's not a ton of people out and about, but you do. I mean, yeah, if you are sitting there watching around, you could probably spot one of the little errand kids kind of running down the street.
And I'll say, "Oi, you!"
He pauses and turns and doesn't even break stride. Just kind of like makes a wide arc towards you and comes running up.
Is it Jerry?
No, it's Harry.
All right, Harry. So, thing is, nobody can drink out of this well, right? So I need to send or have you send a message to the city hall and let them know that nobody can drink out of this well. It's causing people to get sick.
Oh, all right. I can go tell the mayor, sir. And he puts his little hand out.
So I might have to owe you one, Harry. I just barely got my shirt on this morning.
I'll give him a glowing pebble.
You got a glowing pebble.
He looks at it. A boy's gotta eat, but that's pretty.
What is it?
Oh,
2 copper.
Oh, he kind of closes his hand on the glowing pebble and then grabs one of the coppers. All right, I'll go tell the mayor, sir.
That's a good lad.
Harry, it's very important. You must do this with haste.
I do everything with haste. And
Harry's
he's
the fastest one. We're good.
Then why didn't your mother send Jerry?
She's cheap.
Oh.
He's notorious.
How do you half a copper?
If you could do it, she'd do it. I can tell you that.
All right, he goes running off.
Pennies, literally.
So you wanted to go check the other well? Or you want to go back and...
First, I'm going to fly to the herb shop, the
The Roots and Remedies?
Yes, Roots and Remedies, and I'm going to tell her what's causing it, or what we suspect is causing it.
I've got
might want to bring some of this.
I've got a little vial, some empty vials.
How heavy is it?
A vial? Oh my goodness. It's doing weight in this game.
Yeah. It's not too heavy for you.
That's your question.
Not too heavy for you to carry. I mean, is everybody else like eager to get back to the Roots place? Or
No.
Zinnia's just trying to
No.
like race off.
My first intention is to close off this well.
So
Is there a...
I'm just saying that they can do that, and I can like fly quickly.
Yeah.
Let her
Could
know.
you put it on your little fox friend?
I can fly faster than the fox.
Fox can
Okay. So Zinnia grabs the little vial and just goes
Yes.
darting off, as apparently she's going to be wont to do. And a lot of you are going to try to find something to close off.
Is there like a plaque of wood adjacent to the well at all?
I mean, it's an excellent question. I mean, you can start hunting around perhaps for
Trunk
some.
just grabs something
Is the-
big and
is-
heavy and
is-
just like
Is there like a roof built over the well?
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
want to keep some
Yeah.
stuff out.
There would be a roof.
I'll just break one of the planks off, and then I'll draw a skull and crossbones and put it on top of it.
Trunk. So,
I believe the message
defacing
is
public
now
property.
received.
He's like, I don't care.
Trunk doesn't understand bureaucracy.
Nope.
I am mayor.
You're now mayor.
There are new rules.
That's
Okay,
good.
well, so you're going to deface some property and block the well off. You've sent a message to the mayor. Bramble has figured out what it is, and Zinnia quickly arrives at Roots and Remedies to present this vial of black scour and hopefully find out from Laurel if she can give us a cure.
Yes.
So this seems like a spot where we can take a break before episode 2. We ran a little long for episode 1.
Oh.
Yeah. But welcome, everybody. We're going to pick up next week then and find out how, in fact, we can cure this black scour and if our heroes are up to the task. in this.
Okay.
And does Trunk get enough votes for mayor?
For mayor.
Yes, that will be that'll be the important test.
Tested.
I don't know. When's the next election?
Tested campaign. Well, he's in charge, so I think it's going to be a...
How old is the mayor? He
Banana
might
Republic.
already be dead.
Here's a cup of tea, Mayor.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us on this new campaign. Hopefully, you come back again next week. We'll see how the story progresses as our characters evolve and we learn more about this new and interesting world.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you want to read more about like this chaotic world we're dropping everybody into,
Yes.
adventuresedgerpg.com.
.com. Yep. It is a wiki website. It will continually evolve and grow. And if you have feedback, feel free to email us. You can reach me at don@adventuresedgerpg.com and we'll be sharing more emails and such. And we will see you guys next week.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you.
I know.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed our show and want more, please leave us a rating and review on whichever platform you use. And of course, feel free to share us on social media. We'll be back next week with more adventures in the world of Tellus. To tide you over, you can read more about the cast, characters, and the world of Tellus at adventuresedgerpg.com. And if you're headed out on your own adventure, you should probably avoid using the ferry as your scout.